Today we're going to be talking about some blowback from a Destructoid article that was seen by many to be overwhelmingly one-sided. To give you some context, a woman who made the soundtrack for an indie game on Steam left the team before the game was finished and claims to have not been paid. The whole story is long and convoluted, and if you're interested in a more in-depth analysis on the situation, I would suggest checking out Sid Alpha's channel, as he is directly dealing with this woman and the DMCA strikes that she is unleashing relentlessly against people who are playing games with music she has made in them. This video will focus primarily on the blowback from this article. This particular article painted Alex as the victim, and these ambulance-chasing YouTube pundits, as the author phrased them, as the aggressors against this poor woman. The story, however, is much more complicated than that. In fact, it appears as though John Holmes did not do his research. Really, it's elementary, Mr. Holmes. The information was all over Twitter. However, I digress. People on YouTube, who are in this case doing the journalism that the gaming media refused to cover, were painted as harassers who were sending Alex death threats. Maybe some of them were. Alex was sending some of her own. To dismiss Alex's behavior because she was sent a death threat is too nice, to say the least. Receiving a death threat doesn't give you amnesty against breaking the law and abusing the copyright system. Even Total Biscuit jumped at the author of this Destructoid article on Twitter after his comment that a burning dumpster was all that remained at Destructoid, or something to that effect. Total Biscuit was quick to side with Sid Alpha and the more than 60 total YouTubers who have been false DMCA'd by Alex Marr. The real reason I'm recording this video is this right here. Leonard French, who is the lawyer defending a lot of the YouTubers right now, tweeted out, "I was straight up told they would not report the threats Alex Marr was sending to us. Great journalism." The author replied, "Sorry, Leonard. That's not how I interpreted our exchange. I'm updating the story now." This person also tweeted out to the author some more evidence of her behavior, to which he replied, "I asked French for comment, and he did not ask me to make note of the fact that she may have threatened him. He seems worried about her." Here's another good one. "Hey, why didn't you write about the death threats that Marr did send to multiple people about this whole DMCA thing?" To which he replied, "Death threats weren't the focus of the story. If she sent people death threats, then those people should take the appropriate legal action." I would imagine he would say the same if the roles were reversed, right? Another person writes, "Honest question, is this lack of editorial oversight and or writing guidelines normal for Destructoid?" To which the author replied, "No, but I think that editorial oversight and writing guidelines are going to be tightening up from here on out. Destructoid is listening." So, Mr. Holmes reached out to the lawyer and told him directly that he would not be writing about the death threats that Alex sent out. This is some grade A journalism. It really is, Destructoid. You wonder why people are going to random yahoos on the internet for their information. It's because they're being held to their ethics by people who watch them. Sure, no one should have sent this woman death threats, but she should not have sent any herself either. Those death threats are no excuse for abusing the copyright system and attacking YouTubers who are only speaking truth. Copyright takedowns are only for when a good case of fair use cannot be argued. Even Let's Plays, which are the type of videos she has been taking down, usually add in a vocal commentary to make the work transformative. So to recap a little bit, this woman has, I believe, a total of 3 games removed from Steam, upwards to 70 or more videos total removed from YouTube, from over 60 different YouTubers. And then after this happened, YouTubers began to talk about this, and then she apparently was not aware of the Streisand effect and sent them death threats, attempting to take down their channels as well. All of this seems to be an emotional reaction on her part, refusing to understand that she fucked up. This right here is why sometimes you need to take a good long look in the mirror and realize that you need to take responsibility for your actions. Abusing the copyright system is wrong, let alone illegal. Taking down people's games that she contributed to is wrong. She should not have executive power over the entire game because she contributed a part of it, especially when she was paid and the company reached out to her on several occasions to make a deal with her. No joke. She even disowned her family because they told her she was wrong, by her own admission. I'm being more kind with my words than she deserves, if I'm being honest. So here's a bit of a cherry on top. This is the Twitter thread I mentioned a little bit earlier. It features both Total Biscuit and Sid Alpha. Total Biscuit was unapologetic to Holmes, telling him that the industry has too many hacks already. Sid Alpha said, "I am not heated, I am exceptionally disappointed that someone would attempt to twist things to fit their own narrative in spite of fact." Musical Antihero wrote, "I'm heated that non-journalists do a better job than current journalists consistently." Preach, brother. Here, Mr. Holmes claims to not be a journalist. However, if you go to his Patreon, he seems to run a gaming magazine. Well, I don't know what he considers a gaming magazine to be, but I believe a lot of people would argue that it's a form of journalism. The most amusing part about all of this? She blocked him. That's right, after people contacted him to tell him his article was wrong, she blocked him so that way she could just pretend that nothing ever happened.